A Bajan and a Trinidadian dine with starvation. The Bajan say, look, Trini, now we make a cook. I put the rice, you going put the meat. Then we going both have something to eat. But when the pot was nearly to done, the Bajan decide to pull a fast one. He said, Trini, I'm a born Bajan. I don't like to fight. But when come to the occasion, man, I stick for my right. You put in a 12 cents meatball, you worse than a lice. I gonna give you a word of advice. Take your meat out my rice. Trini got in a big rage. What wrong with you, bitch? I gonna tell you flat, bitch. I ain't taking that. When we were shopping, we both agreed the food will be cooked and shared equally. I put my last penny in this meat, and I ain't moving until I eat. Bitch, Trini, I'm a born Bajan. I don't like to fight. But when come to the occasion, man, I die for my right. You put in a 10 cents meatball. You think that is nice? Well, don't make me have to tell you twice. Jack, your meat out my rice. The Bajan then said to Trini, man, don't tell lies on me. I never told you that we going to join and cook up into. What I mentioned, I can repeat. I said to lend me a piece of meat. Trini so vexed, he begin to cry. Bitch, in front of my eye, you telling a lie. Bitch said, Trini, I'm a born Bajan. I don't like to fight. But when come to the occasion, man, I die for pride. You put in a 9 cents meatball, good lord, you want half a slice. If you don't want a Bajan ice, take your meat out my rice. By this time, the pot finished. Trini pick up a dish. The Bajan said, no, 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 never happen so. If you want there's something to eat, man, take a fork and pick out your meat. But if you had one grain of rice, the Christ, I squeeze your throat like a voice. Trini, I'm a born Bajan. I don't like to fight. But when come to the occasion, man, I die for my right. You put in a 8 cents meatball, you Trinidadian lice. Before I squeeze you like rice, keep your meat out my rice. But when come to the occasion, man, I stick for my right. You put in a 12-cent meat bone, you was on a lice. I gonna give you a word of advice. Check your agent then said to Trini, man, don't tell lies on me. I never told you that we might join and cook up into. What I mentioned, I can repeat. I said to lend me a piece of meat. Trini so vexed, he begin to cry. Bitch, in front of my eye, you telling a lie. Bitch said, Trini, I'm a born Babajan. I don't like to fight. But when come to the occasion, man, I die for pride. You put in a 9-cent meat bone. Good Lord, you want half a slice. If you don't want a Bajan ice, take your meat out my rice. By this time, the pot finished. Trini pick up a dish. The Bajan said, no, never happen so. If you want little something to eat, man, take a fork and pick out your meat. But if you handle one grain of rice, the Christ, I squeeze your throat like a voice. Trini, I'm a born Babajan. I don't like to fight. But when come to the occasion, man, I die for my right. You put in an 8-cent meat bone.
Yeah, man, blessed to get to you them to stress and pain, no matter how tough and hard. My people, tell your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. Your mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. The one your name, 1 million miles away. Babylon have my people astray. Work them night and day, and don't give them no prize. So my people rise and give wicked man a surprise. I'm burn them in front of them eyes. Cause they treat poor people like flies. Tell them I'm hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. Tell them I'm hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. Tell them say minimum wage we not work after that. Poor people want more food in a them pack in a the ghetto. You me see a dead a you trap. I want take some soldier hang cap. You me hear boom raka me go half so what that. Me hear pan the shot and me sign a sun job. I want this father them now hold them harder. Get how you fi cross the border. Tell them mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. Tell them mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door, the one you're hearing, 1 million miles away. Babylon have my people astray. Work them night and day, and don't give them no pay. So my people rise, and keep wicked man a surprise. Put them in front of them eyes, cause they treat poor people like flies. Hey, them mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. Tell them mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. Don't turn your back on the farmer man who plant cassava and farm the land. Cheat with the nurse and the teacher them. Why no focus and feature them? My people right. Tell them mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. Mama hungry, papa hungry, brother hungry, sister hungry. Do something for the poor. Open up the door. Tell them mama hungry, papa hungry.
This Labor Day, Bob's Discount Furniture.
Morning, are you morning? Morning, are you morning? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me loudly and clearly. Good morning. Welcome to another program of the Guyanese Morning Time. It is 20 minutes to the 8 o'clock hour. I'm your host, Kidaki Amsterdam. It is Friday. It's the 21st day of August. So God, this month done already. 10 days and we into September. Yes. It's Free Talk Friday. How you been? How was it yesterday? How was it last night? How are you feeling this morning? What irks you? What frets you? What disgusts you this morning? That is one of those are some of the things I want to talk about, and I hope you are going to be good and kind enough to let us talk about them. And so I'm opening up the lines right away. Right now, we have guests this morning. We have a guest that will be here for about 15 minutes or 8 o'clock. So in the meantime, let's take some calls. Take some calls. I'm not in the best of moods this morning. And when I say I'm not in the best of moods, I'm not sick. I'm not tired. I'm not lazy. I'm just not in the best of mood. Because some people mash my toe. And because they mash my toe, I'm not in the best of mood. Right? Beg me pardon, oh me no. A little boy step on a bigger man too. Beg your pardon, oh me no. A little boy step on a bigger man too. Because beg pardon, a lot of people do a lot of stupidness. Because beg pardon is there and people like to forgive. A lot of people do a lot of stupidness and expect people to accept it. And when the fire start blazing, there's a sort of beg your pardon. I was misinterpreted. Years ago, it was Chedi Jagan who said, black man, they're at the bottom of the social ladder. I sound like Chedi there. That is it. The black man, they're at the bottom of the social ladder. Is Canada the UN thing he says so. And when we start cuss out, he said he was misinterpreted. Right? Call you alive. Good morning.
Good morning. Please send the link.
I did. Have a great day.
Okay.
Yes. Black man, they're at the bottom of the social ladder. And when black man start kick up a stink, you can say, yeah, misinterpret me, you know. Y'all definitely misinterpreted me. But for that, I apologize. Did you ever apologize? I can't remember. But beg your pardon, oh, me no. A little boy mashed pan, a bigger man too. I said the lines are open. I know we are waiting for you. You see all this what should I say? Miss your opportunity, and then when the program comes to an end, you're fretting. I didn't even get to call Mr. Amsterdam. I didn't even get Mr. Amsterdam work with me this morning. He didn't extend the program. I can always extend the program, especially on Fridays. Y'all know I rest on Fridays. Good. But if y'all didn't want to make your calls, let's talk. Let's talk. In fact, share the live. The numbers are nice and big for me right now. Share the live. I'm working on something. I'm working up something here for y'all, I don't think I'm working up something. All right. So let's talk. Oh, you're taking a call now, you see? Call you on. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Gaddafi. Blessings. Um, I heard this president's speech a couple days ago, boasting about the money that Ghana is going to get. Is he going to give public servants a better salary? That's all I want to know, because they have money now. So if teachers, policemen, and normal public servants, are they going to get a better wage before the new year? Thank you so much.
Well, I don't know with all of the missteps that this government has made and so on, and the fact that Guyanese are mad at them. I know they're trying to find ways and means of shutting us up. They're trying to do the usual bribe thing. I understand what they're coming with is a cash grant, double the usual amount. I hear they're cooking up a $200,000 cash grant. But I want Guyanese to understand cash grant is short term, right? Cash grant is short term. What's the word there? Palliative, something to the extent in that it is just meant to ease your pain for a short time. It is just meant to make your suffering a little bit more comfortable. That's what cash grant is. All right, we're going to get them a 200,000. They're going to feel rich for the next month or so, and then back to suffering. That is what this government does with the nation's resources, at least to the poorer class of citizens. Because the fact is, a cash grant is a one-time thing. But if you give people increases in wages and salaries, then it is a revolving, recurring, that's the word I want. It's a recurring expense to the coffers. And every month people will benefit from the increase in salaries, wages and salaries. The PPP government and Ali ain't got no interest of giving people wages and salaries that will benefit them and, really improve the quality of life. Let me say this. Y'all see, I got there's a cartoon up there. It says that the cost of living is high. It is coming out to if an Ali's mouth, allegedly, because I basically paraphrase. The cost of living is high because Guyanese are now choosing to make their purchases at supermarkets and dine out rather than sticking to traditional ways. Right? Traditional ways would suggest that you go to the Bendong markets like Bodom Market and Stabrook Market, where your provisions and so on are just a few inches above the stinking, dirty, murky, germ-filled road and water, gutters and so on and so forth, with garbage thrown all over the place and things. That is a traditional ways, or among the traditional ways. Right? Traditionally, you're expected to stay in your kitchen and cook, whether you cook with coal pot or you cook with wood fire and so on. Traditionally, we grew up, and I want you to see my face when I say these things because sometimes I am bold and presumptuous enough to say them. We grew up hearing that the likes of Irfan Ali used to gel the gutters of this country and catch kakabeli and catch silver and catch bushfish and catch gonga. You know gonga no gonga. Gonga Ghana. Anyhow, and catch krakete and catch pasta ramgot. And that is how traditionally a lot of people made up their meals. But the same man whose ancestors, I'm not saying that my ancestors didn't have hardships and they didn't choose to provide for themselves by farming and catching them same bushfish and so on and so forth. The same man whose ancestors used the jalem gotor still do to constitute a meal traditionally. The same man who, I am sure at some point in time, put food on his table in that manner, but is now eating steak. Yes, I remember. I'm reminded. Good morning.
Okay, morning.
Right? This man is now eating steak. This man now eating sushi. This man is now dining, enjoying the finest of dining. This man has even become an international chef, a houseboy for Mia Motley, a curry chef. This man can afford to cook curry again and have it flown to Barbados at the behest of Mia. But this man got the temerity to tell Guyanese that y'all must continue for jar gutter and scrape trench bottom for make ends meet. I must continue for going to bend down, sinking, dirty market them. They say, don't cross the bridge at your cross. And I'm crossing the bridge, I'm crossing the situation. You must still go in the unkempt, stinking markets where human beings and rats dwelling together and so on. To bend over and buy your provisions and so to put on your table. While this dirty president and his friends, family, and favorites could import all manner of things to satisfy their ego. Even the meat they import from Brazil. At one time, even pork they used to import from China. If they still don't. They want the finest. But Guyanese must scavenge to put food on the table. That is a disrespect. That's a disrespect y'all allow because y'all choose a dunce. Let's say one eye man a king of blind eye country. And the way y'all got this common breed dunce. Disrespecting all of us as citizens suggests that all of us might be blind. But y'all count me out because I see it. If y'all didn't want to see it, y'all didn't want to act, it's a matter for you. It's a matter for y'all. I'm going to say it again, in other places, that well, I can't say big belly, that brainless fool would have been apologizing to the citizens. That brainless fool would have been apologizing to the citizens if he wasn't penning his resignation. But they say, I don't know, every day is another insult piled on Guyanese, and Guyanese just sitting back and take it. Y'all remember not long ago, you say, don't worry, all of them were railing up. All I gotta say is cash grant. Y'all remember that? That is what we brought ourselves to. And they say, if you make yourself grass, ass, like dust, brainless dunce, now I'm only going to trample upon you, but the excrement going to dip on you. And that's what we engage. That's what we experiencing. Get rid of the fools, man. Free yourselves. Free yourselves. The days of slavery, at least we say so historically, the days of slavery are over. This time not long time, this time not long time. This not massa time, massa day is done. But it seems as though we got a new breed who want to be massa in this country. And they want to eat the best, they want to live the best, they want to enjoy the best, they want to generate and accumulate generational wealth of the backs of the people while the people are made to eat grass. I must not have aspirations. I don't have pride. I don't have ego. I don't have self-respect. I don't know what Maslow's hierarchy say. So I must stay dwelling at the bottom of the social ladder all the time while these criminals are doing what they're doing with the nation's resources. Imagine his brother was perhaps some low life in Canada. He turned president and his brother suddenly allegedly turned contractor. I see they're threatening to sue the other corrupt one, Azudin, because he exposed the corruption in the family, because he was part of the family still. They're threatening to sue because this and that. You know, they said they got lies and statistics. And a lot of people like mess with we and think that we don't because they're using semantics. But I examined the semantics, and maybe next week I'm going to delve into that same Sigma engineering business with y'all. Because there's a thin line between truth and lie. And the records show that Sigma was getting contracts in this country for as long as the other corrupt ones say. But they want to make this quiet, this differentiation. Sigma was only recently incorporated in Guyana, and so what this man is saying is incorrect. Well, let me say Sigma International, if you want to call it that, was getting contracts way long before the incorporation locally. But I'm going to get into the details of that. I want to get tap. But for now, y'all tell the crab, or call himself president, the disrespect must stop. Guyanese deserve better. Can you imagine in the Caribbean, Guyanese are the lowest paid public servants, if you will? Can you imagine that? The fastest growing economy talking about getting 39.8% of oil profits now. 39.8% of oil profits now. What will they do with those profits? These people are so shameless. Can you imagine the school grant that they were giving? Remember, they started giving grants to the schools, classroom grant, and what's the other grant they were giving? Classroom grant and departmental grant for schools. Can you imagine these crabs? Even as the economy is getting better, Even as they're earning more money, they have been cutting back on those grants to schools. Can you imagine? They're talking about having educators sign their times biometrically. You know the machine, the thing you just gotta go and put your fingerprint on already, or your eyeball it or whatever, to sign your time when you go to work. They're saying, all right, educators, that is how educators must sign in to work now. We ain't doing no paper and pen. But can you imagine they're asking the schools from the little grants that they're giving them? The regional educators, education officers, and so on are bullying at teachers at school to take that little grant and go to some place associated with a corrupt cabal to buy that timekeeper. From the little grant, they cut the grant already. They reduce it. But they're still telling them, take money from this reduced grant and go and buy the timer to put on your building so that your teachers can be signed in. If there is not wickedness, Jah know what it is. Jah know what it is. And people must resist. Their teachers must grow some spine. I said this is a capital budgetary item. This is central government business. This is how we own. But no, instead of doing what they got to do, this empty-headed fool telling people that y'all cost of living high because y'all in one shop at the markets, no, but y'all going to supermarkets. And y'all ain't cooking at home, no, y'all want to eat out. Does this don't snow, for example, because I've tested it, food is my business. It is cheaper to buy a box of food as an individual than cook a pot at home. It is cheaper. Because you can't go to the market and buy 2 boro. You can't buy $100 boro. $100 boro might feed you under normal circumstances. But we used to be $100 boro. Now is $500 and $800 and $1,000 boro. And so if as a single man, you got to go and buy boro alone for $1,000 to cook for you. Isn't it cheaper to go and buy a box of food for $1,200 or $1,500? Because this boro alone, you ain't talk about fuel, you ain't talk about your meat, you ain't talk about rice, but this common breed dunce from Flock University telling people why they cost a living higher is because they buying food at cook shops and they eating at restaurants and they shopping in supermarkets. Especially in this time of El Nino and the whole change in the atmosphere and the heat that people have to deal with across the world. Why not shop in a supermarket? Where you going to get little AC at least because you can't afford it at your house? And them that's got 10 and 12 and 40 AC, according to the boys, them got AC over chicken. But you, the common man, can't go to a supermarket and shop because the president got a problem with that. If that is not criminal, Jah know what that is. It's 2 minutes past 8 o'clock hour. I told y'all I invited guests for 8 o'clock. And so let me give them an opportunity to do the thing. And then we're going to come back and talk about these common breed dunces and thieves who want disrespect Guyanese and tell them they ain't got no right to shop at the supermarket and they ain't got no right to fine dining. So if they consider the finer things in life, they ain't got no right to the finer things in life. Only them is that sucking the blood out of the citizens and the coffers of this country like leeches, the leeches that they are. Dr. Kimani Neusi, welcome to the program. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Thank you very much, Brother Kedaki. Good morning to you. Good morning to all of our viewers and listeners.
Good morning again. Welcome. I know we are dealing with the Pan-African lectures, let me call them that. The Pan-African course starts tomorrow from 5 in the afternoon and we'll go for 2 hours. And that is in the next 6 weeks. How are preparations coming?
Preparations are all right, almost on time. We had some setbacks because I had a challenge. I'm still suffering from a very bad case of the flu, but it's in hand. I didn't say greetings to my brother Raul, who is part of the administration, the organization that has organized and is hosting the series,
Yeah.
among others.
Good. Yes. Good morning, Doc. If I may, just try to have the professor ease from talking that much. The fact remains that he is here is a testimony that he's committed. So may I just outline what is to come? The emphasis, well, first of all, I must say thanks to Mr. Kadaki for journeying with us since the first set of courses started. He has been on we have been able to use it, his platform to sensitize the general public and in the diaspora of our intentions and what we are volunteering to do for the nation. And thanks very much, Kodaki, for making today possible. It seems as though that you always have a very packed program. So thanks for stitching us in. On the 11th hour, just about to have this course kicked off, Dr. Kumani will be, the emphasis on this course will be A, who is an African? B, our identity and history as a people. C, what is Pan-Africanism? Those are, I believe, topics that can trigger the interest of the mind and arouse curiosity, that we can able to whet up our appetite with information that will transform our lives as a people to make us better people. The methodology that he sought to seek in this throughout this 6 weeks course is emphasis is to emphasize on discussion and review and evaluation. I believe the reason and the intent of Dr. Kamani for having an open discussion is to trigger, right? It's to trigger our interests and to pull out the things that the many questions that we so have in our mind. So rather than us having we call an analog, not an analog, a monologue, sorry. Rather than us having a monologue, he wants us to have also a dialogue where the participants will be able to, at some point of the lecture, sit down. We will have among ourselves questions that we would like to have raised and and so forth. So this should be very interactive and should be able to be very much interested in showing our interest in this program and how far it will go. The focus will be on one of the two interesting things that his focus. We got to watch out how he's going. He said, "Don't let us have this thing cast in stone." He's a professor, been there for some time, lecturing for some while. Would know. Focus would be the role women play in the struggle of Pan-Africanism and how they manage to keep the family. It's very important. How they manage to keep the family together, where they were able to build and sustain communities and the values they instill in their children in passing down their tradition and culture. To some extent, the professor is open to touch on religion. And this here, for me, is one of my favorites as well. The reason being that in this age and time, when we are having information, the Bible talks about in the last days or so forth, for the religious circle I'm speaking at here now, right? That there will be an influx or of information. It's going to be very overwhelming, where the knowledge of the Lord will flood the earth, and then people will be have access to information. Meaning that things that you wanted to ask your great grandfather for and they didn't tell you, and so forth, that will no longer be the case. You don't have to sit down and wait for somebody to tell you something. Now, at the click of your finger, you can do research, and you get aid in doing research. So somebody telling you something and you sitting down and you listen and gullibly just taking everything without, we call it filtering the information that is coming into you, whether it will do good or bad to you, is no longer the thing. Now this is the day and time when information is really be available. You just start to know how to do the research. You know, it was like recently I had an interview with IMM, that is International Medical Management. And I was just out of the UK. Every year we have what you call fitness to work. You have to have fitness to work. And I was explaining to the doctor that these are the days when we no longer sit down and doctor tell us what is wrong with our body. We are able also to interact with the doctors and tell them how we feel, what we know. And in so in doing, be able to have what you call a partnership for health and care, not just you telling me what I need. So in this case here, as I say, we have information out there. So he would be able to, he will be, according to how the courts go, nothing cast in stone, how the courts go, we might be able to touch on that. So I want to say to the religious circle in Guyana, all ministers I'm speaking to, all my fellow comrades and colleagues from the simplest of pastors to the highest of bishops in this nation, and to the diaspora throughout the hearing of our voice. This is an opportunity for you to tap into this course, because I am very much sure there are going to be lots of information given out that you probably don't even know exist, right? Because if we were taught by way of, by way of brainwashing, because we know that the church basically in general, historically has been complicit in the causing us to be in the state where we are today. Very brainwashed, very stupefied. We don't question things, and if we question things, we're seen as hooligans and bullies, and we're seen as people who are rebellious, and that should not be, right? So I'm speaking here, as you all know, I'm not just only Raul, but I'm also well known as Pastor Williams. But I'm not, propagating that at this moment. I'm just giving you that information there. So those are some things that will happen. So religion can basically build us, and religiousness can also break us. It depends on the information, the authenticity of the information that will help us be honest enough to be guided into the right direction. So here it is again. We are not your enemy. We are your friends. We are brothers, and so on to you. So over to you.
Uncle Raul, we still have Dr. Kemani Newusi with us, and since he's the man who is carrying the course, he's carrying the course. I'm sure there are some things, nuances there may be that you would want to share with the viewers. Why should Guyanese really do this course? A lot of people say, listen, all the information out there about black this and black that and black the other, it seems as though Guyanese in particular ain't got no time with that information, because they continue to make decisions that would apparently be contrary to that history. How do you think a course like this can change the status quo, if I were to say that?
Well, a lot depends upon the participants, what they get from it, and what they recognize as their interest in a course like this. One of the most important things anybody, not only African Guyanese, but especially African Guyanese, must realize is that the system of socialization and of education and training that we have experienced has lied to us consistently. Um, Most of us really don't know who we are. And if you do not know who you are, then you wouldn't know what your real interests are. And you can't defend them, promote them. And you're going to make wrong choices, as you said, Brother Kidaki. So this course is one that's meant to begin to encourage participants to reflect upon the most important question in the life of any person or group. Who are you? And most African Guyanese, especially, do not know the correct answer to that question. It's not something that will come to you like Saul on the road to Damascus or a thief in the night. It's something you need to learn gradually because the information is so profound. And we, most of us, have been so misinformed about ourselves that it's not something that we will develop overnight. We may all of a sudden recognize, understand that we've been lied to and that we need to change our concept of who we are. But actually doing that is a time consuming process. It's not an event. The realization, the recognition that we've been wrong might come to us suddenly. That might be an event. But the correction is a process. And this course helps us to begin that process. Some people would have recognized that we need to be different, different from how the system that oppressed has taught us to be. And should those people be on the course, we hope to engage them also at, dare I say, a higher level by providing materials, information that will help them in specific quests. Pastor Williams said something just now that I find extremely important. The church hasn't merely been complicit in the largest genocide in the history of humanity, and I'm talking about the African Holocaust, the enslavement of African people, and the destruction of our culture. From the inception, the Christian church was an equal partner in this atrocity or collection of atrocities. Let us not forget that the Pope or popes issued several papal bulls, these are laws, that divided land in the Americas between the Spaniards and the Portuguese. Now think about that. This is a pope, a guy who says that he is moral, a churchman, stealing land, actively participating in the theft of other people's land. They didn't even see this land. They're so arrogant that they're dividing up land that they hadn't seen yet. They didn't ask the people who own the land anything. Fact is, they would later declare those people to be less than human beings, savages and heathens and so on. They even issued something called terra nullius, empty land, in order to facilitate their theft on paper. So the Pope's issuing those bulls saying that this part belonged to Spain and that part belonged to um, uh, Portugal is part of this. And that's only the beginning of the damage the church that calls itself Christian has done to African people in particular and to other people in general. They actively attacked African culture. They tried to tell African people that we must not be African, because being African is inferior. And all the while, they were stealing doctrines from African people. Much of the foundation of Christianity comes from African spirituality. And the fact that they actively tried to deny the origin of these doctrines means that they have stolen them. They've been practicing something completely different from what they have been preaching. And what they have been preaching is the morality of African people. We are covering some of that on the course. Should students be interested in that? And I hope they are, because this question of Christianity and its impact upon us is an extremely complex and very, very important question that has touched and continues to touch the lives of most African Guyanese in particular, and Guyanese in general, and other people too around the world. So that's one of the issues the course will respond to should students raise it. We'll also be talking about related ideas. For example, the family. How is the family organized? How do we constitute a family? Let me give you an example of one of the things we could perhaps elucidate. Many children and their children and grandchildren and so on down the generations have suffered because two adults took a decision that resulted in children, and these children have suffered because a foreign creed, European value system, decided that because their parents were not married, these children must suffer. So you got this concept of an outside child who must be hidden, unacknowledged, and so on. Now, in African languages, there is no word for stepbrother, stepsister, half this and half that. Everybody is a fully respected individual. Nobody is made to bear any kind of shame or heavy weight for decisions that their parents made. How many of us understand that? So, one of the fundamental understandings that we're coming from on this course is that Africa is a completely different place than most of us have been forced to believe through miseducation. Most of us don't know that we've been miseducated on this part. So we will be looking at aspects of Africa, the truth about Africa. We'll also be examining what we have ended up with, the lies and the distortions. And in all of this is the need for decolonization. We talk about decolonization. We talk about getting correct information. We talk about rebuilding the concept of ourselves. This course is a starter in that honorable direction.
Thank you, Dr. Neusi. I guess you people have seen that in order to register for the Pan-African course, you need to call 753-6047. That is 753-6047. You can also send them a WhatsApp. And if you are close to a landline, then you can use 4423698. Michelle is capable and she will provide all additional information for you. Remember, the program starts tomorrow from 5 in the evening to 7, from 17 to 19 hours, and it is going to go for 6 weeks. It's 8 minutes, it's 24 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour, so I don't want to keep my guests longer. I don't want to keep you from your phone lines. But I want to say this. I noticed somebody is saying, finally, someone is bringing real knowledge to us about Christianity. You can get the deeper understanding and you can get much, much more real knowledge by enrolling and becoming a part of the Pan-Africanism 6 weeks course. So do just that. So you'll get all of the information you need to get because I can't give you all of the information on CAMS TV, at least not today. Gentlemen, quickly, 2 minutes wrap up.
Pastor Williams first.
Yes. Yes. Thanks very much, Kadaki. Well, at the 11th hour, you can still register for the course. The course is not that expensive. We try to reach everybody. The last time we had it at $10,000, $2,000 registration, and so forth, and the $8,000 of the course. But this time we bring it down further. After having a consensus of things, as I say, we're not here to do, we call it profit and gain for rich ourselves. We're trying to meet every Guyanese that is going through all this hardship of high prices and inflation going out of control. So you can register for the course, and as I say one more time, especially to all the religious sectors or sections and bodies that we have in this country, and even in the diaspora. You curious? You want to know the truth? Just link in. Thank you.
Well, for me, as coming to this course personally, it's something that I always wanted to do. I have taught in different countries in the world at very important, so-called important universities. I still teach at one of the leading universities in the United States, and I teach some of these things in graduate school, like ancient Egyptian language and so on, the history of Africa. And it would be really a very good thing, I believe, as well as a whole bundle of joy for me to make this contribution to the people of Guyana. I know that there will be people from different countries joining. We have people from different parts of the United States, from England. There's one person, I think, from China, or who's living in China, who's indicated an interest. But whosoever we reach, I will be happy to make this contribution. I will also be listening carefully to what people say, how they say, questions they ask. Not only with the responsibility of making very important, accurate responses, but also seeking to learn things from the other participants in this course. So I think it's a challenging one. I think it's one that anybody who has an interest in knowing who they are, or at least beginning to understand that, should join, and that you will be extremely well rewarded for doing so.
Thank you, gentlemen, for coming and spending time with us. And of course, I wish you every success. I wish more people will certainly be part of the course, and so that we can share more enlightenment. And with that, I say have a great day.
Thanks very much.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so yeah, I must just wonder why the switch mode. So I'm a good switch. I could roll. Was it roll switch? I could roll switch. I could roll switch. I need to roll switch. So I going back to cussing this snail eating Kavachamite. Um, God, yes, we've been saying, as we've been saying, you know, when you make a dunce lead you, whether by the hook or the crook, you know, I share with you all the experience, but they're talking about the same dunce leading to. The experience of the little Amerindian boy robbing me, tricking me. Let me don't say rob me, tricking me with some copper filings, right? Yeah, y'all remember the story? Yeah, when you make dunce people trick you, it has be heartbreaking. They just want to cover up your embarrassment. And sometimes I wonder if it's the Guyanese that on covering up the embarrassment because they allow themselves to be tricked by a set of dunces and criminals. Chief of them, Ali. This is what somebody who got education and somebody who bright and somebody who could think and somebody who can analyze situations would have come up with in my mind. Somebody who's scaring. Guyana is now going to get 38.9%, I think, of the oil share. There's there's billions, there's trillions of dollars coming to this country. A government, especially led by somebody who has the people's interest at heart, would have been thinking, listen, we introduced several years ago when Guyana didn't have direct access to this kind of resources, something called VAT, value added tax. We introduced VAT in this country as a means of getting more revenue to execute government's plans. Now that we're getting this windfall, the APNU without access to this kind of windfall had reduced VAT, I think, from 16 to 14%. I'm not sure about the numbers, but I think it's 16 to 14. So they had reduced it by 2 percentage points. Right, let me stick with that because that is a fact. They had reduced it by 2 percentage points. Whether it's 16 to 14 or 14 to 12, whatever, they had reduced it by 2 percentage points without access to this kind of resources. Maybe they were anticipating access to the resources and so they would have further reduced VAT or got rid of it totally. A caring government would relook at VAT as it is in this current situation where people are catching hell because of high cost of living and say, with this windfall that we're getting from petroleum, we don't need to further burden the people with VAT. Let us remove VAT. Let us remove VAT. If they were to remove VAT immediately, don't tell me anything about inflation and so on, but immediately, as soon as you remove VAT, you've removed the burden from the people in this country. You've reduced their cost of living. And it's a start. What they don't tell you, for example, they're talking about a barge taking supplies and so on to the Northwest. Rwanda says at $100 a kg. What they don't tell you is that when they hit you with these financial burdens or when they hit your suppliers with these financial burdens, those financial burdens are passed on to you. So the people in Northwest who were buying 1 kg flour, a kg is 2.2 pounds, I think, buying a 1 kg flour for $400, they got catered to pay at least $600 now, because for every kg, the transportation cost is $100. So if you get a 2 kg flour, or if you buy a 1 kg flour for $400, and then the transportation cost is increased by $100, it means that 400 now become 500, and then the supplier is going to put his markup on that additional $100 that he had to pay to get this flour to you. So your flour now costing $600. Because Guyanese go 100% for profits. That is as simple as I can explain it. That once they continue to tax and increase the operating costs of suppliers, then the consumer will continue to pay more, because those costs are passed on to the consumers. And so for every dollar VAT that the supplier pays, the consumer feeling the brunt. Aren't we at a place where we can remove VAT now, given the amount of money that we have coming from oil? And I'm talking about oil alone, but we still got gold. We got more gold mining taking place in this country. See the Canadians, I think, preparing to open another pit or another mine, where you want to call it. So we got gold, we got bauxite. They're talking about uranium. We got all kinds of things being mined, all kinds of natural resources being exported from this country, and therefore bringing income to the coffers of the state, plus what is coming from oil. And they're saying that they can remove or drastically reduce VAT to give the citizens a chance. But instead of telling citizens that they must change their eating pattern, where are while we eat, partner? Where are while we eat shit? Guyanese are already eating shit. Guyanese are already eating a big pile of rice with a tablespoon stew, because they can't afford enough vegetables and proteins and so on. They should be eating the opposite. They should be eating more vegetables and fruits and vegetables and protein. Talk about that. They got a class representing the PPP called Prince or Princess, who they said that Guyanese can be earning the kind of wages they're earning and want to eat fruits and vegetables. There's a mentality of the people. When the science says that you should be eating more fruits and vegetables and more protein than you eat starch, Guyanese just gotta go for belly full. Belly full is what we gotta go for. A whole mountain of rice. Rice that is contaminated, rice that is, what was the word? Adulterated with pesticides. Wrong provision where it felt at. A common power planting is $300 at least. They say sweet potato better than rice. You could buy sweet potato for cook for your family in this country. It's at least $300 a pound, $400, $500 a pound. So if we must change we eating pattern, Mr. President, what you want we eat? Silabe? Kakabeli? Not all of us have been cultured or socialized in that way. a caring government, a government that got thinkers and thinkers to the people, would recognize that they have an opportunity to change, to address this issue, to bring some comfort to the citizens of this country and stop treating us like jackasses, because really and truly, you are the jackass. Every time you break, we hear a set of coming out of your mouth. Call your life.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. First thing first, Flash is responsible for what he say. Let me remind my black brothers and sisters what Chedi Jagan say. You only remember one. He tell the people them, own the land and you go own the country. When Flash Garden turned those words upside down, it means you go own black man. If you have to punish them, punish them. If you have to kill them, kill them. The wicked colleague prime minister from India come to Guyana and tell them a couple months before the election, Guyana is little India. You see, words are win, my brothers and sisters. It's time for black people to be desperate.
Caller, are you still there? I did look like the call is getting some kind of issues. We don't have too much time this morning. We got 90 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. The lines remain open. 6225933 is the number to call. Call you on. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me now? Good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. First thing first, Flash is responsible for what he say, not how you interpret. Let me remind you the second part that Chedi Jagan said. Tell Koli people, own the land and you go own your country. But when Flash Garden turned those words, that word upside down country, you mean your own black man. If you gotta kill them, kill them. If you gotta punish them. Couple months before the election last year, that wicked prime minister come from India and tell them Koli people and the government, Guyana is little India. My brothers and sisters, words are win. It's time for we stop curse the government and take action in our hands. Stop the business. It's a time for black people to be desperate, because desperate people don't do desperate thing. Them Koli boy living a nice life. Remember what I'm telling teachers. We don't have money to pay you. You have to wait till 2027 when big money come in and they find $10 million for give Jamaican and building 200 houses for them. They find $5 million for give St. Vincent with them problem. And send quite all kind of food and all kind of thing. And black man just sit down and a time about, oh, Flash Garden, where you shall, Flash Garden, where you shall. We got to stop, pay your mind, but take your mind off of Flash Garden, talking about Koli. It's in fact, it's time for we take back our country. It is time for we put fire and smoke up in the air and stop the oil business coming in. From the airport, come right down, start business. You got to make sacrifice. Our ancestors make sacrifice. That Flash Garden did not born as a slave child. Yes, he come from a slave ancestor. Yes, I accept that. Martin Luther King said, don't let nobody tell you that you are nobody, you are somebody in the eyes of the God. Why black people sitting down and take what Arnold said, black people, must be proud to be our slave. Because there was our slave in the white man time, now a Coli time. Men. I can't believe what black man just sit down and take in. Do you know, you guys, the company said the French make back the money. It is time for put fire and smoke up in the air because I don't have debt to pay back anymore. Why are you allowed this cool people to enjoy life? Before we go, let me remind you something. When Granger Prasad go in office, he take black people transport. Let me remind you this transport of black people had the island gas, that is black people transport for go to any bank and get money. He use it for take money for bail out the sugar estate and the rice farmers and develop Amerindian people. But he did not use it for make our life better or for start. He only do basic for black people. And remember, when I'm calling go in office, what they did, they sent them a lot of black people, said, you cannot work with me because you give out information. Them tell teachers, I will not pay you because I was not in government 2019. But when David Granger take over office, he pay them rice farmer what then left them rice to rotten and spoil on your wharf, and David Granger pay them. What more are you waiting for, black people? Are you waiting for Flash Garden come home? For being front of the line for dead? Why are you don't want to fight? Talking will not move them, Collie boy. Wars are win. But fire and smoke up in here from the airport come right down. Before me go last, I just always share the story. Two beggar man was living in one house. One was lazy, but one was going out and beg and get the food and come back and cook. And one day cook met him. And the lazy one said, my food smell nice, food done. And the other one said, you know what? I go smart him today. And he take out the duff, throw it in front of him. Oh, this ain't good, this ain't bad. The planting in the cassava. And the smart man comes and say, oh, and start to mash it up. Oh, this ain't good, that ain't good, this ain't good. He said, no, stop. All good, let all of we eat. Black man, if you can't eat steaks like them, call it. Stop them from eating steak, Fat God said. I'm responsible for what. Whatever it takes, stop them right now. Enough is enough. The one that you eat salt and rice, mango and pepper. Don't do it. Thank you very much for your time.
And sure come good this morning. I ain't in a good mood. I ain't feeling good. Proceed.
I know what. I hear you ranting at Ravens this morning, buddy. Me know what's going on with you. The best one that's come out of your mouth or you best vocab is dons. Anyway, you should take Flash advice. You be the one, you lead by example, because as we're telling the people since everyone, you light the first fire, Kadaki. Take Flash good advice and light the first fire. And to the brothers, to the Pan-African guys, you can't have a man teaching the people Pan-Africanism and you got a Spanish man name. You gotta change his name. You can't hear Raul. And the same brother talking about hardship.
And he's charging the people for joining the class, for enroll.
I tell you already, I ain't in a good mood. Don't come talking crap. Because so far you have contributed nothing to this morning's discourse. Nothing. I always light in a fire. I light a fire every single day I come in. Every single day I come here, I light a fire. You see, some of you are so dunce that you can't even understand the figurative use of language. You are so dunce. It's the same dunceness make you haul me before the court when a man come and say we gotta get the head of this person, the body, and the next body. Because you are dunce. Don't come here with your dunceness this morning. It is the only word I could find for describe you all maybe adequately. That's the only word you all could understand. Should I say you're mentally challenged? There's a challenge to you to interpret. Call it on. Good morning.
Good morning, all. I don't know why it took you that long to hang up on that dude, you know. Anyhow, check this out. A couple of things I want to talk about. Recently, I visited a bank. I think I would say it's historically a non-Indian ownership or Indian administration. So I chose that bank, and I went into the bank and of course something like about 80% of the staff were of African ethnicity, and I felt comfortable as an African person. Anyhow, the service is what I have a little bit of a problem with, because I wasn't expecting any favors or anything like that, but professionalism and these kind of things, customer service should have been a big thing there, and it wasn't. Mind you, there was no hostile verbal competition or anything like that. But there were nuances and subliminal that made me feel uncomfortable and unwelcome. And I think it shouldn't be like that. So one of the things that I would warn our people, Black people, to always put behind the mind is their identity, who they are, and they don't have to be given favors, especially to people like them, but they need to again acknowledge who they are and be spiritual about it, so they could connect and treat those people the correct way they're supposed to. The other thing is someone called earlier and we're talking about the government is saying that they get a bit more money and they get and and he's saying that proposing that this public service should be seeing his word was that seeing that they get some money now, the public service should get some more money. I agree with the public service getting more money, but the part in where they get money now, I don't think that's correct. They've been getting real money for over 5 years now. They've been getting plenty money. Now they're getting something like about over $50 million a year. A day. And if they haven't, if they didn't change raise public servants salary like about 3 to 4 years ago, when they were getting real money, of course, since then until they still get it now, and they haven't done so, they don't intend to, because they intend to keep public servants as an inferior, people that they could look down on. And if you give people money, raise people's salary, and they could live better, especially Black people, they know what we're going to do with that. We're going to make it look real big. It can be real big. It can overcome them and all this kind of stuff. Because we know what to do with a little, we need to make a lot with a little. So that would we got money long now. We now get money. We get the money over 5 years now. So people's life supposed to be elevated at least 3 to 4 years ago. And there's a U.S. situation in Guyana where there's no foreign currency, mainly U.S. dollars. You go into banks to purchasing overseas and all these things, they tell you that you want to send money for something overseas, there's no foreign currency. You go on the streets, it's the same thing. We making over $50 million a day U.S. We don't have a sanction against us. Countries with sanctions against them for years. I could go and get more money in that US money in that country than in Guyana right about now. So where is this money going to? That is a lot of things. They don't care about the populace. They don't care about the regular people. Because their people, they could find the US. But for some reason, a regular person who wants to do something, a foreign exchange, a foreign purchase or whatever, there's no US for them. So those things are things that we as Black people, we need to look up to. We need to take into consideration. There's local government coming up, and of course the future. I know we can't wait until then, of course. But for now, this is what we see in front of us. So we know where to lean, and not to people who say that with us now and who was in the belly of them and don't even look like us and don't think like us. They're not in our struggle, nothing like that. So we need to know what we're doing. Thank you for your time. I'm out.
Thank you for the call. We got 5 minutes of program time. 6225923 is the number to call. We got a voice note.
Talaki, blessings and good morning to you, my brother. Blessings to our listeners.
Hi, good morning, my brother. Good morning, my brother. Yeah. My call is, yeah, good morning, and good morning to everybody in Guyana. No, number one, you find that the Guyanese that I'm using this word loose, Guyanese, all them who is done. You see, where the money trail going, the president's brother and Sayen own the company, but he in the company. He's in the company. His name makes that company getting billion dollar contract in a week. It's registered. All those who cleaning gutter, who weeding yard, who weeding the road corner, getting contract and say they got to eat a food, what they watch themselves and see if they ever get $1 billion contract. Nothing. They getting scrammed and I got to eat a food. Right? And see where the wealth they eating a food for the generation wealth where we gonna live, right? At the president's relative. Them is gonna live generation wealth. They got to eat a food. You eat a food today and you go to the toilet later on, and that's it. You don't have no generation wealth left because you do not have no money. Right? All the money is not this is the culture where they live in. Right? If they watch and see where the money is going, it can go in that got to eat a food. It's who can live generation well. And the Guyanese of all who vote for the PVP, all of them, but they check themselves and see if they in that category just a small percentage, a 2%, right? And the 90% got to looking for got to eat a food. Have a good day. I'm out.
From the diaspora and from the four corners of the globe. Karaki, I have a revelation here that I must speak about. There is a God. I don't believe that there is a God. I know that there is a God. And this is a revelation to Irfan Ali, Bharat Jagdeo, and Anil Nanalal, and to the PPP cabal. Those families who are mourning and grieving for their loved one that you all have in the bottom of the sea that deteriorating daily, Let me repeat. Those families, loved ones, that in the bottom of the ocean that deteriorating daily, and all you're in paying them no mind. I want all you to know that in the space of a month, if all you're in get that ship out from where it is, all hell will break loose. Not from man, but from God. This is a revelation and a warning. Those people, families that in the bottom of the ocean, that all you in pay no mind, all you have commission of inquiry going on, and the main evidence is in the bottom of the sea. What all you have in commission of inquiry for, and the evidence in the bottom of the sea? All you get all your act together in the space of a month, all hell will break loose. Watch and all legacy.
Hi, good morning, Kadaki. I'm sorry that you did not keep Dr. Kimani and Raul to take a few calls. Nevertheless, one of the things that I would like to ask them is that if African spirituality is a part of the course, also, I would like to have asked them if your culture, spirituality, and culture, if they could have spoken to spirituality and culture being the glue that will hold the African society together.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, viewers. What African Guyanese have to do is come together. It's simple. Support your own. I wonder if some of them watching Doggy live. You saw Doggy learning the hard way now? Doggy is learning it the hard way now. African Guyanese, all have their own mind, all think for yourself. Support your own. Don't run behind other parties and think it will be okay. It's not going to be okay. It's not going to be okay. Support your own. You have the APNU, PNC, and WPA. Support your own. As a dinner building house, no move for people. Nothing no move for people. It was a catch to catch a lot of African Guyanese and Doggy and others in the diaspora. Help to put win where they are today. It's simple. Come together and support your own, the PNC, the APNU, and the Win African Guyanese. Are you wake up? Are you wake up before it's too late? That is my take for today.
Greetings, Brother Kadaki. Greetings, all viewers. Don't let it spoil your day, Brother Kadaki. The brother come out saying, but who should start the fire and all kind of thing. You don't understand. He get too much under the stand. You got to come over the stand. And therefore, overstand that every morning you come on this program is fire. Every single morning. And what he should start doing is start following you. Is to start getting on the ball and get fiery instead of coming and spewing a set of crap all the time of feeling good about it. Plenty of them things that you command, that the brother command on this program and talk, he dare not go on them program was supported by the party, will he the support. which is the PPP, which is the wicked PPP. So don't let it spoil your day, brother Kadaki. Don't let it take you off of your focus, because it's not a case that you're rising up to a payday when you're doing this. So continue doing the good work, brother. Continue doing the good work. Blessed love.
Good morning, Kanaki. I'm trying to get you. I don't want to boast where there, but I'm way out of Guyana. Anyway, you know, when you listen to some people, they always try to cause problems on the program. The black people, the Africans in Guyana have got to look to the history. And if anybody come to offer them something on their history and to tell them who they are, many of them always throw tantrum up to a fit. Imagine I used to do a concert to sensitize black people in my village, the Africans. They didn't care. So this year I decided against it. And when you hear, if the big ones gonna get up and talk, already talking about these people who trying to teach them something, what to expect the children to do. And when it comes talking about money, what the last caller said, man talk about the currency, it is the fact. When you go and you sell your money, they take it. And when you're ready for US currency, they don't give you none. They don't give you none because they see that it's black people. You can't use US, but they keep the US and giving it to the Kulimati. And when we look at what is going on, we really understand when they say Guyana has become a little India. But the big time Indians, the big time Kuli are now facing the fact with being run over by the Chinese. Because the Chinese watching where they got business and they put them 4 businesses around them and kill their business. So right now, we ain't said that we ain't on their bad, but they on their worse because they're taking the big loans, the big this and the big that. And when the Chinese take over, they cannot pay them mortgages because the people running for the cheapness. And somebody would go and buy 10 cheapness than one dayness. So who's suffering is them. I know they got to blame. They buy Barrett to pay the Chinese pay Barrett, say 500,000 US dollars to get whatever they want, and some of them must even pay more. So let me see what's gonna happen. We are accustomed to slavery and we are accustomed to tighten the belt and roll with whatever we get. Me say that we ain't gonna suffer, but they gonna suffer more because enough of them cooling did not expect a day of reckoning where the Chinese will come to Guyana. Let them fight in the thing, and what we as black people, we must stand up and watch it. Yes, they are listening to Minister Jordan, and I was glad for some of the things that he spoke about, because I never really knew much about the 18th of August. And I hope that thing could be sensitized. Sister Pen to them, I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, guys, I will be very well. Last night I passed over the Panama Canal Bridge. It was breathtaking. But I didn't get to take pictures. I'll be going out today to have pictures up for you. And I will be returning to my brother by Tuesday, 24th. So I am enjoying my life. Happy Friday. Please play my voice note.
It's 8 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. You're still tuned to the Guyanese morning time. I have to go. I can't stay forever because I got to go and eat the bread. The time passed this call. Thank you. Sorry. I got to go eat the food. I can't stay all the time. So you got to understand that. But let me quickly deal with this thing about Doggy learning the hard way. Doggy ain't learn nothing. Doggy and the likes of Doggy ain't learn nothing. Like y'all don't understand this thing. Y'all continue to be duped. People continue to make you clown. Don't let them fool you. Or even try to school you now. That sound like Brother Bob. Y'all got people making y'all a clown. Doggy ain't learned nothing. Doggy is singing the tunes of the highest bidder right now. Wherever the wind blows, it's cool with Doggy. And we're talking about money win. As long as Doggy could get a payday, he's going to sing the song of the piper. Who pays the piper calls the tune. So Doggy ain't learned nothing. You tell Doggy I said her. And they got a lot of us out there who ain't learned nothing. They might be hollering and bawling in your eyes. But it's not hollering and bawling and cussing up because they don't like the status quo. They're hollering and bawling and cussing up so that they could receive an embrace. James Bond cussed the PPP for all the years. And then he started cussing the APNU with the promise of an embrace from the PPP. Now we're talking about the PPP honoree, the Meki parliamentarian. You let the APNU get into power tomorrow. I said, come, James, come, brother James, you work with us all the time. You're going to see if you're not going to run, go like them common breed, yard dog, what you call them, rice eater, stray dog, and cause the PPP again. These banners are mercenaries. They're political hitmen. Was the price right? They say what the payer wants them to see. Go fool yourself. And for the voice noter that was saying he is sorry that I didn't keep Dr. Kimani on and Raul Williams, Pastor Williams long on to take some calls so they could ask them some questions and things. Go get registered for the People's Program. It's called Pan-Africanism. Get registered. It's $8,000, $40 US. And in there, you're going to have an entire interactive session. You will have 6 interactive sessions at 2 hours, 12 hours of interaction. So you can ask what you want, you could discuss what you want, you can learn what you want, you could share what you know. Understand that? And don't take it as an insult. I just being blunt this morning and telling you all as it is. Sometimes we lose out because we're not willing to make the sacrifices for what will benefit us. And there's a problem here in this damn country. Too much of us, we got a poverty mentality, let me put it away. Too much of us see ourselves as too poor to be willing to invest in ourselves. Too much of us see ourselves as being too feeble to be willing to fight for ourselves. But we got the fight in us. And we got the resourcefulness in us. But y'all allow the enemy to beat you into subjection to believe that you're poor. You're mentally poor, you're physical poor, you're financially poor, you're poor in every realm of your life. You're even poor in your thinking. Poverty is not only about resources. With that said, 12 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. Y'all have a great day. Remember that we need resources too to continue to do this. So put something in the Cash App. Put something in the Zelle. Put something on MMG. Send something via Sana Megaton, Western Union. Wherever. Contribute to the program. Y'all have a great day. Much love. Tough love is love too. Y'all could continue allowing a common breed dunce to insult you as citizens of this country and tell you that you can't aspire to eat properly and you can't aspire to buy foods that might be a little safer than those that you pick up in the markets and so on, because they hold on to the resources and refuse to give it to you. Y'all have a great day. Y'all best stand up for something where you're going to lie down and take all of anything.